Hi there, and thanks for joining EPA's Methane Workshop Vendor Showcase. My name is Ryan Streams, and I'm the Director of External Affairs here at Kairos Aerospace. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, Kairos is a leader in basin scale aerial monitoring for methane emissions. We've inspected more sites and helped our industry clients reduce more methane than anyone else in the business. We conduct our surveys on behalf of industry, which means when you work with Kairos, you can count on a few things. Number one, our data is actionable and designed with industry in mind. That means that we tailor our reports so that they're clear and easy for ground crews to use. Number two, everything remains confidential. We take your privacy and data security seriously. We know that leak data can be sensitive, which is why we never share your information with anyone. And number three, when you're working with us, you're working with the most experienced company that has inspected more sites across the US than any other commercial leak detection service. So what does our data look like? This image here shows an example detection where we discovered 3 leaks from the same facility. All 3 were confirmed by ground follow-up inspections. When we fly over a site, we collect several important pieces of information. First, we provide the date and time of the inspection, and we capture an optical image of the site at the moment we fly over. This optical image gives important context about what was happening on the ground when we detected emissions. We also record the emission rate, which is key for minimizing gas losses. We also provide the associated facility, which we tie directly back to customer-provided data. We combine that with environmental conditions like wind speed and wind direction to really give a comprehensive picture of every site that we survey. One of the biggest benefits that we offer is the ability to inspect 100 or even more sites in a single day. Now, you might wonder, why is that so important? Well, based on our extensive experience, we know that a handful of sites are leaking most of the total methane that's being emitted. The reality is that most sites have little to no methane emissions, but a handful of super emitters are emitting far more gas than everything else put together. At Kairos, we find these fast so you can fix them first. Just how important are these super emitters? Well, we inspected over 500,000 sites across multiple basins and detected over 8,000 methane emission events. When we looked at all of those detections, we found that just 149 detections were responsible for around half of the total methane that we observed from all 500,000 sites combined. So what does that tell us? Well, a couple of things. First of all, if you're not chasing your super emitters, you're focusing on the wrong problem. They're responsible for most of your methane emissions, and they can be the most cost-effective leaks to actually go and fix. Second, if you're not taking steps to reduce your emissions, you're behind the curve. ESG leaders working with Kairos have been reducing their emissions by up to 40% or more. One independent upstream company that we work with called Methane Surveys to Fix Super Emitters one of the highest internal rate of return projects that's available to them as an organization. Lastly, it's clear that EPA's Quad OA regulations have missed the mark when it comes to cost-effectively reducing emissions. Instead of prescriptive OGI surveys, we need flexible regulations that encourage performance improvements over process-based outcomes. Our surveys have found that Quad OA sites are actually more likely to emit significant methane than non-Quad OA sites, which indicates just how much the current approach to leak detection misses the mark. At Kairos, we're looking forward to working with EPA as it develops regulations that embrace new technologies and work practices. And if you're an upstream or a midstream company looking for cost-effective emission reductions, we'd like to work with you too. You'll join our growing list of clients who are finding their biggest leaks fast and fixing them first. Thanks very much for your time.